talking, but I'm already gone. You had your shot, but you went about it all wrong. Tried to pull you in close, eyes were locked on your phone. Now you're sour, cause I'm moving on. Oh, you're showing up at my door, holding your heart there inside your hands. Baby, I could have been all yours, but you're out of chances. No, you don't get to come back, crying over the love that you had. Maybe nice try, maybe next time you'll hold on to what you have. No, you don't get to show up, teary-eyed saying I'm all you want. Maybe nice try, maybe next time you won't sleep on a good love. You won't sleep on a good love. You won't.
If you're not watching us live on YouTube, you're missing a lot. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and become a Night Dreamer. Coming to you from the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network newsroom, I'm Guy Ticker with the strange news. Scotland's Calvine UFO mystery has been solved at last. On August 4th, 1990, two young chefs had been walking in the Cairngorms National Park near Perth when they spotted a strange diamond-shaped object in the sky nearby. Terrified, the men had hid behind some bushes to observe the mysterious craft. A short time later, they heard the sound of an RAF jet approaching. The plane seemed to change course. Said one, quote, "I discovered that the only other British Harriers were privately owned by BAE Systems, the defense contractor. They use their Harriers as multi-role defense test platforms, testing BAE advanced technology." He continued, quote, "I dug deeper and found that Maroney Advanced Materials, based inside BAE HQ at Wharton, Lancashire, were probably working on an advanced stealth skin material for the USAF. I'm Guy Ticker. The Strange News is brought to you by Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. Do you have a strange story? Contact us at nightdreamstalkradio.com. Deep in the Amazon jungle, one man.
Hi, I'm Stan Gordon. Check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio with Gary the Big Guy.
Yeah, let me finish. One man.
Hi, I'm Mark Muncy. Check out Night Dreams Talk Radio with Gary the Big Guy.
Yeah, do you mind? One man, naked and afraid.
I'm losing my mind.
You and me both, sister. One man, Gary the Big Guy. No boats, no lights, no motor cars, not a single luxury.
Hey, any more and you'll have to pay a royalty.
Okay, that's it.
Hit it.
From the summer vacation studios deep in the Amazon jungle, from that tree right there. See at the top, he's swinging. Hey.
I'm losing my mind.
Twice?
All right. Coming to you live, for now, on Night Dreams Talk Radio, naked and afraid, Gary the Big Guy Anderson.
Woo! That is me. And I'll tell you what, my wife is starting to thaw out. There's a puddle of water in the studio like you wouldn't believe. But I tell you one thing, that's the quietest she's ever been in 46 years. She's just standing there, holding that on-air sign. I tell you, best investment getting that sign for her. I don't know. She needs to be careful walking into a walk-in freezer. JC, I can tell you one thing. It kind of puts a whole new meaning to an iced relationship.
Now, was she walking by and somebody anonymously, like maybe you pushed her? Or
No, she was in there and I closed the door.
Oh, well, that's courteous of you.
I opened it up 24 hours later and she was like hard.
Yeah, well,
more ways than one.
Yeah, she didn't say that. You did.
How she hasn't been able to talk. I think I saw her eye kind of like twinkle here. Yeah, maybe that too. The other day here. But there's a puddle of water, so she's actually starting to thaw out. This air conditioner we had put in, from the network out of New York, has made a big difference now. I'm not at 95 degrees doing the show.
Yeah, that will definitely thaw her out big time. And then she's probably not going to be very happy about being 24 hours it took to let her out.
Yeah. Well, we are beaming our signal live from the headquarters out of New York. And I'm in the beautiful town of Gig Harbor, Washington. I tell you that. All based on the internet. What can I say?
Listen, modern technology, it can be a blessing or a curse. It depends on the intent.
Do you like Elvira or do you like that guy Spanguli? To me, that's like, growing up here in Seattle, there was a TV show for young people called JP Patches. Kind of reminds me of that. But I mean, the guests we have on tonight, you never know. You never know what's going to happen when you're watching these really stinker movies. Now, some of them are so bad, they're actually quite good. And, I have gained in the last 6 months watching, because I binge watch. I get off the air, because I kind of have a weird sleep pattern now because of the show. I go in and watch a whole bunch of episodes of Creature Features. And I tell you, then after I can barely stay awake, I go to bed and I have nightmares.
When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, we had Big Chuck and Houlihan, and then it was Big Chuck and Little John. They do little skits and show the same kind of movies. That was years ago, but it kind of reminds me of the same premise, only tonight's guest is a little bit more modern. Kind of like it.
Well, everybody, we have the host of Creature Features on the show. And, he takes, we have had Tony Dow, we've had Chekhov, Waterconic on the show. We've had other major actors on the show through the years. I tell you what, this is like the top of the platform here. And you know what?
Yeah, listen,
Now, wait a minute. I don't get anybody clapping from my show except you. I mean, most people clap when it's over. Here, they're clapping because they're really excited about the show here tonight. Well, what can you tell the listeners about our guest tonight, Vincent?
Well, let me tell you, our guest tonight is Vincent Van Dahl. Now, he is coming to all of you live tonight from his old and notoriously haunted Polder Mansion in Bodega Bay, California. It's the perfect place to live for Vincent after he retired from the music world as the founder of the band Prince of Darkness.
And you know what? It's a great honor to have you on here tonight, my friend. How are you doing?
Gary, it's so nice to hear your voice again.
Well, it's nice to hear yours. And are you staying out of trouble in that mansion? You know how many people have emailed me? I got at least 300 emails today about you being on.
We never get that much mail.
You don't?
No.
Well,
we don't have fans like the great Gary.
Well, I have to pay my listeners to listen. But is
that the secret? All right.
Yeah, you pay them. I used to be wealthy back 6 years ago. Now I pay them to listen. It's pay-per-view. I pay them to view it.
That is brilliant.
It works.
I'm sure it does. How's the weather in Washington?
It is sunny, and I tell you, it's nice.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I miss the rain. There's no rain here. None whatsoever.
Never?
Well, no, for 15 minutes in the winter, it will rain, and it's rather delightful, but the rest of the time, it's summer in California, and I'm getting a bit weary of it.
Well, you need to go back to the UK. It rains quite a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, no, it's too much there. Plus, my mother's still alive, and the next thing I know, I'd be doing chores around her house.
What is wrong doing chores?
It's not nothing wrong with doing chores. It's doing them for her. She's one of a kind, I might say.
Now, she's not a vampirist or anything like that, is she?
Oh, good Lord, no. She had me young.
Well,
so she could make me suffer longer, I think was the motivation behind that.
Well, she wanted to be around to watch you suffer.
Exactly.
Well, people have been emailing me. They can't understand why they can't find your mansion. And, from what I got inquisitive because I've been doing talk radio for 50-some years. I called up Google today, one of my reps at Google, and I said, why are you blocking this guy? Vincent from Creature Features. Why can't people go drive by his mansion? And they said something about, you guys had a falling out, so they blocked you for you don't exist.
This. I think we departed on wonderful terms. But no. So the story behind it is it was a problem before I took over this home, and children and young adults would use it as a house to party in, and but when I came in, it became a bigger problem because not only did I have that, but I also had the former, fans of my band who wanted to come up and visit. So I had a friend at Google, and I said, could you take it off the map? And they did that for me. So if you have an aeroplane or a drone, you could probably find it. But, right now, Google or GPS will not help you.
I wish they would block me.
Well, if you complain enough, I think they will block anything.
Well, they block me off the radio ever so often. They'll all of a sudden my internet goes down.
Oh, that could be solar flares. I've been reading about those. They could be problematic.
It could be, and it could get a lot worse too. You know that, Vincent. I got to ask you a question. How many bedrooms are in your mansion? Honestly,
25.
20. Okay, you got 25 bedrooms. How many of them have
bedrooms?
How many of them have commodes in them?
None. Well, one, and I had it installed after. And no, it's a Victorian mansion. They never put the loo in a sleeping room. It was considered bad, I suppose.
Okay.
And so no. There's I think 4 bathrooms, and I think there's a half bath on the bottom floor, and up on the top is the one that Tangela uses, and it's always broken.
I wonder why. I see what she does. I mean, seriously, she has an anger issue.
No, she thinks it's like one of those tubes that you put messages in to send downstairs. And of course, it never reaches us, and the tube plugs up the loo, and that's what happens.
So if you invited me to spend the weekend there with my mistress, not my wife,
right.
Since there's no bathrooms that work upstairs, am I going to get a bowl or something?
No. There's at least 3 other functional toilets, and no, the only guest room we have open is the one close to Tangella's room, and it's not bad. She won't bother you, but she never sleeps, so it might be difficult to sleep.
What? Yeah, I mean, wow. And, having a housemate like her, I mean, you never know what's going to go on, do you?
No, in fact, I'm looking out my window right at this very moment. Can you hold on a moment? Hold on.
Yeah, certainly.
Tangella, stop it. Get back inside. We've got to do the show soon. I'm sorry. She's, are you familiar with wines?
Oh, yeah, muscatel, right. Sherry, cooking sherry.
She had a glass of port with me tonight, and you've seen a port glass before. It's like a tiny wine glass with like the size of a shot, right?
Right.
She had one of these. She had one little tiny glass of port, and now I can see she's out in the field trying to put trousers on the goats.
Oh, you mentioned goats. I was going to ask you a question. We have a goat. And I tell you what, when we one is enough. I mean, I have to have...
No, one is not enough. The minimum is 3, and there is no maximum.
Well, this goat is, I'll be honest with you, it is a devil. We have him with the horses. And I tell you, he thinks he's a horse. Seriously.
Right.
But
they're herd animals, and they will accommodate any breed they're put in here.
Well, years ago, one of my children, well, they were like 18, 19 back then. This is a long time ago because we used to have 2 other goats, but they died of old age. But anyway, they made me a breakfast, right, of cereal. Right. They said, hey, here's a new flavor of Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what they were. They put milk on it. And they put sugar. Yeah.
Right.
It didn't taste like it.
Tangella calls them raisinettes. I'm not entirely sure why. I suppose raisinette is some product that looks like goat manure.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They could dry them and make cereal out of it. I don't. How many do you have?
Last count, 75 goats, 35 sheep, 1 alpaca, an angry little brat named Joey.
Does it spit?
10 chickens.
10 chickens?
14 dogs. And there's an entire civilization of turkeys who have adopted us. And she's feeding them every day, so they're always here. So I suppose with Thanksgiving coming, there might be something that our chef can get with a mallet or a hatchet or something.
Interesting. Now, have you had your chef on your Creature Feature show? I know I see Livingston.
Tried. No, so his name is Maurice. He's absolutely phenomenal cook. However, he's somewhat camera shy. So soon, he keeps saying, soon I will, and of course he's French. So it's a whole. I speak a bit of French, so he and I communicate rather well. However, he's afraid that people will laugh at his accent. So I suppose I can understand that.
Don't you have a maid? It really gets frustrated with Tangella?
We actually have 4 maids, and one of them is a new one, and she's not taking Tangella's misgivings, if you take my meaning.
Well, isn't she a little bit mean to your maids?
She's mean to everyone, all the staff. She's mean to, and the only one she's not mean to is Maurice the chef, because she knows he'll poison her food. But the rest, no, the rest she treats terribly. And I suppose Livingston she does give a degree of respect to because he does not take too much from her. But the rest of them are her punching bags.
Well, it seems like she gives you a lot of respect.
Oh, she has to, or I'll send her back to Los Angeles.
Now, one of the emails I got today, they wanted to know if you're remote, if you have a relationship with her.
I do, but it's like a fatherly relationship.
Have you ever thought about putting her up for adoption?
Oh, no, I want to marry her off.
Well, my producer's available. He's in his 50s.
Right, no, she's somewhat rather picky. You know, these skulls that you see her holding, the ones with the meat on them?
Uh-huh.
Those are former suitors that she grew weary of.
Well, I see her with those big knives. So that scares me. I'll tell you that.
No. She's not an ideal housewife. I can say that.
Well, does she vacuum anything ever? I know she makes a mess quite often in your mansion.
No, she's very good at taking things apart but not putting them back together. So in the case you mentioned vacuum, she's taking multiple vacuums apart, but she's never put them back together, although the motors are always missing. I think she puts them to some devious use.
I got to ask a question. How about your car? Have you ever worried about her working on your car? Like you're going somewhere and you put the brakes on and the brakes don't work?
No, she wouldn't do that to me. She knows better. She would be killing the goose that lays the golden eggs, for lack of a better term. But no, and I've got multiple cars, so if she does damage one, and she has, driving one of my cars, she's damaged them before. So there's an issue there, possibly, but I'm not worried about her. She's actually a rather accomplished mechanic.
Well, she would have to if she was taking vacuum cleaners apart, but just don't tell me they're Kirby vacuum cleaners. Please don't do that.
I honestly don't know what they are.
Well, it'd be kind of interesting putting them all together. Who knows what she could create if she took all the parts and combined them?
From what I understand, they have very powerful motors, so it's something that she finds useful for some other purpose I'm not quite aware of.
Now, these movies you show. Okay.
Yes.
Now
tonight we're showing Children of the Corn.
That is a good show.
Oh, it's a wonderful film.
Ah. Now, which one is it? Because they made two versions of that. Is this the original?
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Oh, I heard a beep, beep, beep. I did not know what it was. Yes, it is the original Children of the Corn, the first one. And it's got the lad, Isaac, the one with the hat. And he's actually, the actor was 24 years old when he did that film.
24?
Can you believe this? I just found this out.
He didn't look 24.
No, he's got some kind of growth issue which prevented him from growing like a normal man, and that's why he looks so creepy because he's a child-size adult.
Wow.
Right.
That again, what time's that on tonight? Because people need to watch that. That is one of the better movies, I really think.
Right. Are you hearing that beeping? I think my phone is about to die, but I do have a backup plan.
No, I'm not hearing any beeping. JC, are you hearing any beeping?
Yes, I think it's beeping on my phone, but I think I could switch phones without dropping you. But tomorrow night we're showing Mr. Sardonicus, which is a wonderful film.
What's that about?
It's about a man who goes into his father's grave and somehow gets cursed. I'm going to see if I could switch phones here.
Okay.
Are you still there?
I am here, I think.
Oh, perfect. I'm disconnecting the other one. Sorry about that.
Oh, I actually heard music. That was kind of good.
Right. All right, so I'm back. Mrs. Sardonicus, it's 1961, I believe, and it looks rather disturbing. I think it's going to be a good film.
What's the worst movie you've shown?
The worst movie we've ever shown. Oh, good Lord, what was it called? It was independent-made film, and we actually had the bloke on who made the film. He's a friend, and it was something horrible. Lots of large women, and very inexpensively done. And we actually gave him a trophy, saying it was the worst film we've ever shown.
How did he take the trophy, and how did he take it? It's saying it was the worst.
He took it with humor. We told him we were going to give him that award because we'd screened his film prior, and said, we are going to have a trophy commission just because your film is so terrible. And he agreed. So,
is it worse than The Claw?
Yes.
Now, you know, a lot of people don't know about The Claw, but The Claw, when they made that movie, they had the funding to either get a good actor or really good effects for a monster.
Right.
And they didn't have the money for both. So, right. They had to cheapen on the bird with the claw. And it was, I still see it where it grabs this airplane with its claw. It's absolutely horrible.
Right.
The actor wasn't that good either. They should have found somebody else.
Right. No, so that film, they actually commissioned some firm in Mexico to do the special effects. And they did it sight unseen, not knowing what they were going to get until it was ready to cut the film before release. And they were somewhat surprised with the results. Although, I will say this for that film, it is a wonderful film for young children because that creature is not scary at all.
No. Night Stalker. A lot of people said they really enjoy watching Night Stalker.
I'm surprised. It's one of our most popular episodes. That was a prequel to a series. It's one of our most viewed videos on YouTube.
Very interesting. Now, before we go to break, when we come back from break, actually, I want to ask you about this live lobster thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, yeah. I think the listeners need to know about it. What do you think?
Oh, my goodness. No, they need to know the actual story, but I'll let you tell the fable.
And then after that, we're going to open up some lines here in a few minutes, and you can give a call, and you can ask Vincent a question. It's going to be really interesting here tonight. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. If you want more information about creature features, go to our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Just click on it. It'll take you right to their website. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Brian Seach. Listen to Night Dreams Talk Radio with Gary Anderson.
Coming to you from the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network newsroom, I'm Guy Ticker with the strange news. runaway black hole, the size of 20 million suns, found speeding through space with a trail of newborn stars behind it. Astronomers have discovered a runaway black hole, potentially the first observational evidence that supermassive black holes can be ejected from their host galaxies. The researchers discovered the runaway black hole as a bright streak of light while they were using the Hubble Space Telescope to observe the dwarf galaxy RCP-28, located about 7.5 billion light-years from Earth. I'm Guy Ticker. The Strange News is brought to you by Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. Do you have a strange story? Contact us at nightdreamstalkradio.com. Captain Paul Watson was a co-founder of the Greenpeace Foundation in 1972 and the founder of Sea Shepherd in 1977. In 2022, he was forced out of Sea Shepherd in a hostile takeover. So, he established the Captain Paul Watson Foundation to carry on the work they've been doing for half a century with the specific strategy of aggressive nonviolence, which means aggressive intervention without killing or injuring anyone. They took the name he created and the logos he designed, but they couldn't take away his life's mission. The foundation will carry on. This summer, with their new ship, the John Paul DeJoria, they intend to intervene against the Icelandic slaughter of endangered fin whales. And in 2024, they plan to be in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary to stop the return of Japanese whalers who will be defying the International Court of Justice. They have one ship, but they need two more. Please visit paulwatsonfoundation.org to become a monthly donor. By becoming a monthly donor, you can help grow their Navy and help save our oceans. We don't survive on this planet with dead oceans. If the oceans die, we die. Please visit now www.paulwatsonfoundation.org. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, the home of Night Dreams Talk Radio, with Gary Anderson, syndicated worldwide. Paranormal Talk Radio, like you remember.
Unless you got Alzheimer's, then you can't even find your car keys. I had to pick up my daughter today, by the way. It took me 45 minutes to find the spare set of keys because I couldn't find the original set of keys. And then I couldn't figure out where I put the spare set. I'll tell you what, that happens when you get, 17, or you reverse the numbers. Well, tonight we have the guest. Vincent, who is the host of Creature Features, which if you're into sci-fi, scary movies, The Night of the Living Dead, things like that. Well, you know what? It's really exciting. But, Vincent, we are back live and not Memorex.
That's right. That's the best way to be.
Now, or dead, and then I wouldn't know. But anyway, what happened about this eating this live lobster?
Oh, it's an urban legend. So as the press reported it, I allegedly bit the head off a live lobster in front of the record label executives. And it's not at all true. What actually happened was I bit the head off a prawn, but there was no head, and it was a cooked prawn, and I was simply eating my lunch.
That's a big difference.
Now, well, you know how the press works. They tend to exaggerate absolutely everything. It's preposterous.
It smells fishy to me.
It was a fishtail indeed.
Yeah. Well, again, how is it with your butler? Does he get along good with Tangela?
Mr. Livingston, he tolerates her, is essentially what it amounts to. She does have some respect for him. She compared to the other staff, she does not give him the measure of trouble she gives the others, because she knows he has my ear, And with enough complaints from him, I would have to relocate her to a different facility, one might say.
Well, I tell you what, Livingston looked really good that one day when she had that woman's wig on him.
Oh my goodness! No, she does things like that to him all the time. And she does not do these things when we're not live on the show. So she knows he cannot protest when he's on the program.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has that look on his face like, oh my God. But I got to ask you a question. You're filming this show, Creature Features, out of your huge mansion with all these goats running around going, meh.
Right.
Anyway, I got to ask you a question. What's it like to have, the director, the camera guy, whoever there, while you're making, I mean, how is it?
It is most convenient. So initially when I agreed to do the program, they wanted me to go to the studio down in the village to tape this program because all the equipment was there. And I told them, no, I would not do this because it would not work for me. It was just far too inconvenient. So one of the people suggested that we film in our parlor, which was a room I seldom used prior. And so now they just leave all the equipment there. I seldom go in there when we're not taping. And it's rather nice. And Tangela enjoys it because she likes borrowing the equipment. And she'll go out and film things like goats.
Yeah. Does she take the cameras apart?
No, she has not done that because she knows I'd be most cross with her if she did.
Hey, did you ever get the maid out of the coffin? I know she got that maid in that poor maid in that coffin. And if she got out, how did you get her out of it?
So I suspect we have one in the ground. That we had one maid that went missing, and we have no idea. She never collected her final paycheck, and we never saw her again. And Tangela collects coffins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh no, she's got an entire variety of caskets that she keeps up in a room, and we noticed one was not there, and so was the maid. So when you're missing a casket and you're missing a maid, it does not take a rocket scientist to determine what exactly happened. But as far as the one that you're speaking of, she's a strong woman. And I don't think without some serious hardware, you could keep her locked in a coffin for very long.
Well, she has to be fit, because every time I see, she's being chased.
I saw that woman pick up a refrigerator and move it 5 feet.
A refrigerator?
A refrigerator.
A big refrigerator?
It had not been cleaned in the rear.
Wow. That's. I wish my wife would do something like that. Pick up a refrigerator.
She's quite strong. And Tangela, for her size, is quite strong as well. She's like an ant, which can pick up like 15 times her weight. But she doesn't weigh that much. But 15 times her weight's quite a bit.
Yeah. Do you have a big fish tank? Because I know she likes slapping people with fish.
No. I wanted to get one, and it seems like they're a lot of work, especially the kind with salt water. So I passed on that opportunity.
So what is the future of Creature Features, and how can the listeners find it? I know it's on YouTube, but why don't you, let's find out where else it's at for and can they subscribe to it and get any perks off of it?
Absolutely. So creaturefeatures.tv is our primary website. It is the hub of our internet presence. And from there, you'll find links to our YouTube channel, to our Facebook page, to our Instagram, to our Twitter, or X, I suppose it's called now, and also our Patreon if people want to support the program, but I'd assume they'd want to watch it first before they want to throw any money our way. But we also have a new thing called creaturefeaturestv.com. It's a different site. It's like Netflix, but it's all creature features. And it's even got films that we have not covered yet with creature features. So it's a nice place. It's like creature features. No, it's like Netflix for creature feature people.
Yeah, it's not very expensive, so people need to check that out.
Right. No, that's a nice thing that we're doing, and it gives us a lot more freedom than YouTube. There's a few films we cannot run on YouTube, so This is nice.
Yeah, we got a caller that wants to ask you a question. Who do we have online to ask a question?
Well, we got Tom. We got Tom on the line, and he would like to ask Vincent a question. Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am.
What is the question, Tom?
The question is, I'd like to ask your guest what the most frightening paranormal experience he's ever had was.
Well, hello, Tom. So the most frightening, I don't know if it's the most frightening, but the home we're in, we've got apparently several entities who occupy our home, but I've only seen one. We call her the Blue Lady. Her name is actually Sarah Poulter. She was the daughter of allegedly the daughter of the man who built the mansion back in 1875. So she typically is a nice ghost. So I would not call her a poltergeist. She's like a friendly ghost. She's like Casper, but she dresses more ladylike. And so what happens with her is she does not do anything bad, but she will appear at the most inopportune times. For instance, I was having a bowl of Cheerios one day, and she just popped into the kitchen, and I spilt the entire bowl of Cheerios onto my lap. I think that's the most frightened I'd ever been in my life.
Interesting. Well, Tom, thank you for, the question. And I'm sure we're going to get more calls. So again, if you want to, give a question or two to our guests here, JC, why don't you tell the listeners what the number is?
Yes, the number for the call-in number is 716-405-0253.
Give it one more time. We're in the big time,
716-405-0253.
Well, again, what is your plan for Halloween coming up?
For the show or just for me personally?
Well, both. How's that? I know.
Right. So for the show, the show, it's our season premiere. Our program premiered on Halloween in 2016. So every Halloween, whatever the Saturday is, either before or on Halloween, is the premiere new season. And so we tend to have a special film, and we tend to have the new updated version of the program, which typically involves a new introduction and some new bumpers and things like that. And this year we're doing I believe, an Addams Family film.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's
it's an old one. It's not like the new cinema Addams Family. It's like a movie they did between the series and, I suppose, when some of them died. But it's a made-for-television Addams Family film. So that's what we'll be showing, I believe.
Okay, I guess we have a Kim on the line. Kim, what question do you have for Vincent?
Hi, Vincent. I heard your mansion is haunted, and I wanted to know what kind of hauntings do you have, and is Tangela possessed?
Hi, Kim. Well, so Tangela first. She's not possessed. She's only possessed with a bad attitude. We don't think there's any spirits or demons or anything inside her, although people down in the village would say that she is possessed and would like to see her have an exorcism. But as far as the home goes, yes, no, we've got all kind of things going on. Sometimes we hear screaming in the night, and I used to think it was Tangela harassing one of the maids, but apparently it's another entity doing that. And we have another entity that apparently steals our soup.
Soup and not steak?
Nope. It only takes soup, and it only takes the Campbell's brand of soup, which I guess is one of the better ones that we have in our pantry. And so, yes, we have a soup poltergeist and a screaming woman poltergeist, and of course there's a Blue Lady, which scares me when I eat my Cheerios.
I guess it would. Kim, do you have another question real quick? I guess she's already gone.
Kim has gone on to the other side.
She could have.
She's preparing to watch Children of the Corn, which starts in 15 minutes.
I know. I can't wait to get off the show to watch it. I tell you what, I had my wife, well, my other wife, because this one's frozen, go to the store.
You can only legally have one, Gary.
Well, it depends on what state you're in. There's one state you could have up to 13.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, yeah, well, do you ever have to pay child support? It's not. We got Carlos, I think, on the line. Carlos, you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to know how many octopus does Tangela have as of now?
Oh my goodness! So he's referring to these stuffed octopi that Tangela often brings out in front of the camera. People send them to us, and last time I looked, she had a pile that was no less than 150. I would venture to guess 200.
That's a lot.
No, she likes the plushies, and it's kind of like one of those things where you get like one of those thimbles, like when you travel, a travel thimble that has the name of a city, and the next thing you know, all your friends are giving you thimbles, thinking you're into thimbles, and it's like, I only had one. I'm not a collector, but I suppose I am now.
Interesting. And again, I mean, she has all these octopus. Boy, you're gonna have to get a bigger mansion because of her.
No, well, what we have to do is take some things out. So this home was fully furnished. I put not one stick of furniture, except for my bed, into this home because all the furniture, it was included. That's why it was such a good deal. I could sell all the antiques inside this home and make more money than I'd ever make on the home itself.
Interesting. I like to have a home like that. I got a nice house with, a couple of horses and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to have like 25 bedrooms. You know why? Because I could go into a new bedroom every night and not have to change the sheets every 6 months.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or you could invite 25 friends over and everyone would have their own bed.
I don't have 25 friends. I got 2.
Oh, I don't believe you, Gary. I want to ask you a question. What is Gary? Gary is short for Gerald.
Well, Gary.
What's your full name? What's on your birth certificate?
Gary Lee Anderson.
So Gary is the short version and the long version.
Yeah. See, my mom had a thing for Gary Cooper, and she wanted she wanted my middle name Cooper too, but my dad said no. He got jealous. So I ended up with
that'd
Lee.
Be too much.
Yeah, I ended up with Lee.
Much. So Gary is not. There's not a long version of Gary. That's interesting. I know this bloke. He plays in this band called Rush. Have you heard of it?
I heard of Rush. Yes.
All right. He goes by Geddy Lee. Right. His name is actually Gary, but his mother, who is Hungarian, would always call him Geddy because she could not properly pronounce Gary. And he just kept the nickname Geddy, and hence there he is, Geddy Lee.
Yeah, don't talk that way with the accent. You know what happens, don't you?
What was that?
I have this thing for Borak, and Borak, and I start talking like him. And I don't want to do that on the air. That has happened. Right. That has happened. Well, I think we got another caller in. Who do we have?
Hello, this is Barb.
Hi, Barb. What question do you have for Vincent?
Hi. Do you ever do live appearances anywhere else?
Hello, Barbara. We do appearances. We did, we did one convention in February in Concord, California, and then we did another type of theater thing, I believe it was in July. And I don't think we have anything else coming up. What's interesting is we never get invited to these shows. We used to, and I think people said, "Oh, we've had enough of him. He's too much." Or maybe it's something Tangela did. I don't know. It's something like that, though.
Interesting. Do you have another question, Barb? Is that any other question?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Good night, Bob.
Well,
I think she's rushing off to catch Children of the Corn.
well, I know I am. Oh, like I was going to say, I got a half a gallon of ice cream. Okay, I popped a whole bunch of popcorn.
I was going to say you must have popcorn for Children of the Corn. Then you could be a child of the popcorn.
Yeah, and then I got candy corn.
I don't know about candy corn. Is that the one with the triangle shaped with the orange, yellow, and white?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You melt it and pour it over the popcorn.
No.
Yeah.
That's diabolical.
I'm sorry.
I think that's illegal in some countries.
It could be. Yeah, I tell you what, you get a sugar high like you wouldn't believe. I tell you that much.
No doubt. Those things are pure sugar, from what I understand. They're made from sugar and wax.
That too.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
Sugar and wax. It's like you'll become a sweet candle, and if you swallow a piece of string, you could have a wick.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, but I was trying to figure out how to say it. You said it for me. Now, I got to ask you a question. I know you're out. I mean, do you dress this way all the time? Is this how you dress?
Variations of it. It's a fashion style that I like to think that I created on my own, which I call vagabond chic.
I like it.
It's the torn up, nice look.
Boy, you got a good head of hair too. You know that.
Well, and it's all mine. People are always coming up to me when I do conventions, and they say, "Oh, is that your real hair?" And they grab a handful and they pull it out. We'll try to pull it out. Yeah, it's all mine.
You got to be careful. I had a head of hair like that years ago, and I was under my 57 Ford. And I was...
Oh, dear.
And I had my...
The story does not end well.
I had a torch, and I was cutting off the muffler. And all of a sudden, my hair caught on fire. And I run into the house, right? And I don't have any hair left. It's all like crunchy. And
oh my goodness.
I was doing a major talk show in Tacoma at that time, and I was freaking out. So I went to Sears, Sears, the Roebuck company.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I called him up, and, I said, well, I first called other places trying to get a men's wig. Yeah, we got it, but, we have to, yeah. And so I called up Sears, and the lady, I explained what happened. I burnt my hair. I do a talk show and all this stuff. And she goes, no problem. Come here. We'll take a woman's wig and restyle it. So I went in there, and she cut it and put a whole bunch of hairspray on it, and it looked really good.
Really?
But the problem was...
Perhaps I should burn my hair and try that approach.
No, because it was pouring down rain. So I go to work. I park in the parking lot. I have to walk about 200 feet to go into the building where the radio station was. And my hair, because it got wet, it went back into the shape of a woman's hair style.
Oh, my goodness.
And I walk in there, and everybody's staring at me, and I couldn't figure out why.
Right.
And then...
Right. They thought she had a bad toupee.
No, they thought I had a sex change over the weekend.
Oh. They could do that now over the weekend.
Yeah, especially. You don't even have to go to Mexico anymore.
Right.
Yeah, my Aunt Bertha actually was a guy, but had a sex change. And, she used to work at a nudist camp. She had a band, and they had a couple of guitarists and a couple of singers and a drummer. She played the saxophone. And she got really noted as being a mean blower.
I think there's a joke there somewhere.
It was.
Oh, good Lord.
I cleaned it up.
The saxophone is the one instrument in the world that I makes me ill when I hear it.
It does.
It's, like Kenny G, he appears in my nightmares. The theme of my nightmares when I have nightmares is Kenny G.
Do you miss
saxophone?
Do you miss being in the music industry?
Not at all. Not in the least. It is the worst business in the world.
I known some famous people. They had their one-hit wonders, and I got to know them years later. And I was talking to them. I said, "Well, how much money did you make off that album that sold 1 million?" Not much of nothing, pretty much, because they
Right.
charged him for everything.
Right. Well, another thing that has surprised me doing this program is, I've had some pretty big stars on our show.
Oh,
luckily. I've been blessed to have some rather big names, and I'm surprised how broke these people are. Even the ones that are working all the time, they don't make much money.
No, they don't. That's scary. I've had a couple of them on my show, Yeah, the late Tony Dow was on their show, and, he kind of like gave up acting and started directing and stuff, for quite a few years, and he was noted for that.
He made more money doing that. We had the Beaver on, what's his name?
Jerry Mathis.
Jerry Mathis.
Yeah.
We had him on a year or two ago. Wonderful man.
Oh, yeah.
Very kind, very Beaver-like.
So was Tony Dow.
I thought he was going to come and be like Mr. Mathers, and it was like talking to an old version of Beaver.
Yeah, the same with Tony Dow, his older brother had played on it.
Right,
They were the very first show ever on any network TV, anything, it showed the toilet.
Oh, they did? Why?
Well, because the beaver got a lizard, and they were scared about getting caught, so they put the lizard in the toilet bowl up above.
That's clever.
Now, that was the very first TV show ever to show a toilet. It was history.
Speaking of hiding reptiles in the loo, Tangela keeps eels in the bathtub.
Ah! I'm not taking a bath at your place. Never, ever.
No, I would not recommend it at all. No, she keeps eels in there, and I don't know why. I would think a bathtub would not be a pristine environment for an eel.
Are they the
Especially
eels?
An electric eel.
Are they this big ones or that a bigger ones?
I've looked once and I just see the water swishing, and that's all I need to see. I'm downstairs after that.
What's she feed them?
I think she feeds them what she's supposed to, and I have no idea what that might be.
Any more maids gone missing?
No.
Okay.
No, I think she uses them for practical jokes. Is my theory. I could be wrong.
Now, I know you have to leave here in about 3 minutes. Again, why don't you tell people how they can find you, your website, everything, and how they can subscribe one more time, because we have different people filtered in all through the show.
That's right. So its website is creaturefeatures.tv, just the way it sounds, and all the information you could possibly want or care to see is at Creature Features TV, or creaturefeatures.tv. And tonight we've got Children of the Corn on YouTube, and tomorrow night we shall have Mr. Sardonicus for our Saturday show. Tonight's show is 8 p.m. Pacific time, and tomorrow's is 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Well, everybody, I hate to say because we're on a few more minutes, but get on there. Get your popcorn, get your soda, get ready, prop up your feet, and chase your spouse out of the room and, prop the feet up and have fun. I'll tell you that. We need to get you back on maybe 6 months, a year from now and, and talk more about what is going on in that mansion.
It would be my pleasure, sir.
Okay, my friend. I really enjoyed having you on. And you know what? Be careful, taking a bath at that place.
I certainly will.
You take care, my friend.
Thank you, Gary.
Uh-huh. Well, JC, are you ready to go for that real ride tonight?
I am. I've got my jacket, the car's fueled up, and ready to get going on that highway of, paranormal and what may come.
Yeah, you want to meet her? Tangela? I think you could have an interesting date.
No.
I mean, she could show you, those octopus. She can actually take you into that. You know what she would probably do, don't you? She would take you into that bathroom and push you into that bathtub, and then all of a sudden there's no more JC. I just feel that, or there could be another coffin missing.
Either way, it's all bad scenarios, so I'm going to pass on all the above. I'm going to leave Tangela to Livingston. I think that's a good couple.
Yeah, he looked really sexy in that blonde wig. I have to be honest with you.
I seen that. Looks like a mop is what it looks like. Reminds me of.
Yeah. You know, she has hair like my wife does. You know what happened? This is a story. My wife went bald. Okay? That's not actually my wife. That's a Halloween prop, okay? But it looks so much like my wife, I had to buy it, you know? Anyway, my wife lost all her hair. And she said, you know, I need $1,500 for a wig. And I said, oh, no problem. I will order one off of Amazon for you. You know what? I got a mop wig. A mop, you know, what do you call it?
Yeah, the mop.
Yeah, she looks really sexy. And then, you know, when I have to mop the floors, I just pick my wife up by her feet and mop the floors.
That's a 2-for-1 right there. You're getting a lot for your buck. I mean, you really are.
Yeah. Now, the hitman, which JC is actually the hitman, but, you know, we don't want people to know that because we are really spending a lot of money promoting him. I spent $14 this past month promoting the Hitman show.
Yeah,
and I worked hard for that $14. You know how many cars I had to wash?
I know.
I got I got a signs up and down the road. You know, I'll wash your car for 25 cents.
Yeah, I seen him on the telephone pole, so I know you're not lying about that.
The one on the telephone pole says wanted. The Hitman.
No, that was at the post office.
No, on telephone poles too. They're really looking for you.
I'm pretty easy to find.
What is who and what is your subject, and what is your guest on your next show that'll premiere sometime between Sunday and Monday on the apps out there?
Oh, let me tell you something. The next guest is John Olson. Now, John Olson, he's an author and a researcher of all things strange, weird, scary, and paranormal. So it's going to be a great show. He's actually the poster child for the show, for the Hitman show. He covers all those kind of things. And let me tell you something. It's going to be a really good show because a lot of good stuff he covers, some scary stuff, strange stuff, and weird stuff, and some of it's all in one. So buckle up on that one.
Yeah, maybe I should hire him. I'm sorry. I was just thinking, you know, if it's that exciting, you know, what can I say? Well, anyway, I want to thank, the host, Vincent, from Creature Features. I'm going to let everybody go because I'm going to watch the Children of the Corn. By the way, that is the skull down there of my Aunt Bertha. I dug it up last week at the cemetery.
And one more quick thing, Gary.
Yeah, that's what my wife says. One more quick thing. Yes, go ahead.
The Hitman is going on the tour again tomorrow. I will be at the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
So if you're there, say hi to the Hitman. We got a special T-shirt we sent him, and it has a bullseye on the back. So, you know, if you got an arrow or anything like that, no, I don't want to do that because somebody might take it up. But, you know, you could throw apples if you got any tomatoes. Oh, by the way, speaking about tomatoes, how many tomatoes have you got on your plant so far?
I tell you what, I just took one off there. It weighed 1.5 pounds. I mean, it was huge, Gary. It was huge.
So if you're in Dover, Ohio on Halloween, he's giving out not candy this year because he feels that kids are not getting enough nutrition and vitamins. So he's got these nice wrappers. He's going to wrap these tomatoes. Yeah. Now, when you get a tomato in your bag and you open it up and you go, oh, you know, I can't say over there what you're going to say. They could use the F word and they're going to be really mad. Okay. He doesn't want his windows broken, but if you want to plaster the house, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, they're going to say, fudge, where's my fudge?
Yeah, or something. Well, till Thursday. We don't have a guest on Wednesday. He's going on vacation.
Yeah, no, that's true. And actually, next Thursday, hey, you know what? We got Brian Clune coming back on talking about the ghosts of Alcatraz and a few other famous places.
A lot of people got it. Yeah, a lot of people were murdered there.
But you know what, Gary?
The Shaft.
A week from today, next Friday, Major Ed Dames is coming back to the show, so you want to definitely check that out because he doesn't make many appearances, but when he does, he's got some stuff to say. Let me tell you.
And you might remember Ed Dames, my friend's show, Art Bell. He was on there quite a few times. He's going to be talking about remote viewing, well, the hairy man. Not your neighbor, but the Bigfoot. So that's going to be really interesting. He went to several major places where Bigfoots have been noted to be, and he's remote viewed them. So it's going to be a great show next Friday. So write that down. Tell your friends. Until next Thursday, everybody have a good one. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. If you do, say the hitman made you do it. We'll catch you on the other side.